Now, a Clare driving instructor has raised serious concerns around the number of drive on the left signs after experiencing a near miss on the N67 just outside Lahinch town while he was travelling north. Shane Cotter was travelling along the road at the speed limit when a tourist came around the bend towards him on the wrong side of the road. To find out more, Clare FM's Griffin spoke with Shane earlier.
Hi Caitlin, thanks for inviting me on. Yes, you've seen the video online. Look, I was just driving around the bend. There was an Italian tourist on the opposite side of the road. So yeah, it was a close call. The driver got an awful fright on the other side. It was just a distraction. What could have helped that driver? More signage. Remember the keep left conduit ghost signs? You don't see those anymore. They're extinct from the roads for some reason or other.
Yeah. And do you think that maybe there are specific spots in Clare, there's hot spots where these signs need to be in place if we are going to increase the signage?
I don't know if you remember, Caitlin, the old, the accident black spot signs that used to be around the country in the 70s and 80s. They're gone extinct as well. Well, we get a lot of things right in terms of junctions and designs. And again, this isn't about blame. Road markings per se are really, really good around the country, really, really good, really accurate as regards to positioning vehicles. And look, I just think that this is just kind of fallen between the cracks. It's not a huge project. I know of 2 keep left signs in the county. There's one at Shannon Airport, and I think there's another one up the cliffs. I'm not saying they need to be every 300 yards, but we just need more reminders. I mean, I don't know how many hundreds of thousands of tourists are coming across on the ferries from France and Spain every year, but they just need gentle reminders. Look, it was a close call. It was near miss, and to be honest, the look on the guy's face, he was going to get more of a telling off from the person sitting beside him that I was going to do. Look, he got a fright. There was no interaction, and we just kind of moved on from it.
So you've spoken about it before. Obviously, you've posted the video of the dash cam footage in itself on TikTok, and then you've also posted that you've spoken to TII. Can you tell me a little bit about what you spoke to TII about and what you've requested from them?
Right. It was just an exercise. I put through an FOI request, Freedom of Information, just to see how many of these keep left signs are in situ. Maybe it's just to, I don't know, maybe bang the table to coin a phrase, just to kind of remind them that actually these signs need to be kind of in situ more than they are at present. I'm saying that they get a lot of things right. But in this sense, we do need to revisit this tourist information safety. That's all. In fairness, the rental car companies are really good. Lots of signage inside the vehicles. But as regards physical signage on the roads, in my opinion, we just need more of it. That's all.
Yeah, absolutely. And do you think that maybe the lack of appropriate signage and the possibility of near miss and actual accidents like this one could have an effect on things like Clare's tourism industry?
Oh, huge. Between kind of close calls and near misses, it's an awful way to how do I phrase this? It's an awful thing to happen on anyone's holiday, and I just think we're kind of duly obliged just to make sure that everyone's safe on the road.
Yeah, absolutely. And after the tragic accident, which you also mentioned in your Freedom of Information request to TII in Ballyvaughan back in 2023 that claimed the life of Jerry O'Connor, how important is it that Clare people recognise the dangers on their local roads, but also make an effort to make their voices heard in gaining safety?
I mean, it was a dreadful incident. It really was. I just think more needs to be done. It's not a sort of a personal kind of vendetta or campaign. I just think that road safety is kind of an ongoing thing where we just can't. It's fluid, it's dynamic. We need to keep revisiting and maybe looking at things that we need to do better, and particularly the keep left or the conduit or ghost signs. I think it's the first piece of French that we all read as kids when we were driving along. But anyway, they're extinct on the road. You don't see them anymore, which is a shame.
Yeah. And then just as well, I know that you work as an advanced driver trainer, and you've worked in the past with things like the ambulance services, but you also work with new nervous drivers who struggle with the likes of anxiety, ADHD or dyslexia. How can a near miss on the roads like this one, that could be preventable with proper signage, affect young learner drivers who already have things that make them very anxious?
That's a really good question. It would be devastating. It would be devastating. One of the principles of response driving is, can I stop at a distance I can see to be clear on my own side of the road? So that video you've seen, that's the worst case scenario that I train people to do in my daily life. Can you stop in the distance you can see to be clear on your own side of the road? But, for someone with, look, we all have little issues and tics. But for someone that's particularly anxious and nervous with Asperger's or ADHD or something like that, and anxiety, for something like that to happen, it's going to take a while to recover from that, in terms of confidence and maybe walking away from it. It's a really good question. Really good.
And is this something you have seen in your experience as a driver trainer? Have you seen where there's near miss accidents, or there's issues with tourists being unfamiliar with local roads and it causes a problem during lessons and things like that?
Not really. But look, you'll see there from the comments in the TikTok, there's lots of incidents where people say, yeah, it happened here and it happened there, etc., etc., etc. But as regards, out with learners or out doing corporate clients or whatever, it doesn't really affect daily. Not really. But look, every time you get out on the road, driving is dangerous. And every time you go out on the road, there's going to be close calls. There's going to be near misses. It's the biggest challenge in road safety, as far as I'm concerned, is sharing the road. It's a little strange out there at the minute. It's a little strange. Even just a little spin down to the shop. All sorts of things can happen. So yeah, what we do every day is dangerous, and we kind of take it for granted. As regards the risk.
Thank you very much, Shane. I think we'll all now be waiting very nervously to hear the response from your Freedom of Information request. And we're all just as curious as you are as to exactly how many of those signs are around Clare. Thank you very, very much, Shane Cotter, Lahinch Driving Training.
Cheers, Caitlin. Thanks for your time.
You.
And that was Clare FM's Caitlin Griffin speaking with Shane Cotter. And we have reached out to the local authority for a response or a statement on that. We'll bring it to you as we get it.